at all. You've probably already decided that I am quite strange. Anyway, so I read this in a book by Jack Pansky, the name of which I'm now not going to remember because that's kind of how things are, and I'm fine with that. So the idea is that we are creating every bit of our reality through our thoughts, and this is borne out with our relationship with dandelions. So a dandelion is just a little flower with a yellow head and some green leaves, but and that's all that's really true about a dandelion. It is just a flower, it grows all over the place, and that's the truth of a dandelion. However, people's thoughts about dandelions really can become quite interesting and make people quite angry. So if you're a gardener who absolutely loves to have a beautiful pristine lawn, like one of those that looks like looks like a billiard table, really smooth, and you really like to have that beautiful crisp lawn, then a dandelion is literally like the spawn of the devil, and you absolutely probably hate them and you think really negatively about dandelions, and you probably think they're awful, and your thoughts about dandelions will be really negative. However, that doesn't change the dandelion. It still is what it is. It is a circumstance, the dandelion. It is not. It's not real. Your thoughts about the dandelion are not real. So that's one idea about a dandelion. So if you're a gardener, a dandelion is absolutely terrible and you might hate them and have really negative thoughts about dandelions. However, if you are a bee lover, and we all need to be loving the bees, don't we? Because apparently if they go, we're all doomed, more than we are at the moment, apparently. So anyway, so if you're a bee lover, then you will love the dandelion, and you might have a really positive relationship with a dandelion, and you might think a dandelion's a wonderful thing, because you know that a dandelion is a really important thing for the bee community. They can take pollen from them, and they really do support the bee community. So I haven't quite got to the stage where I asked my fiance to lawn mower around the dandelions, but I'm not far off, because I like bees and I think they're important for our ecosystem. So there you have a dandelion, which is a fact. It is a flower with a yellow head and some green leaves and long roots. That's just a fact about dandelions. But then you have two very different opinions of dandelions and two very different sets of thoughts about dandelions. That doesn't change the fact of the dandelion at all. What it does do for those two individuals, so for example, if the guy who wants a really beautiful lawn has dandelions popping up all the time, he might be angry about that. He might have weed killer out and he'd be digging up the roots and sweating over it all and getting himself into a bit of a do. And my thoughts about the dandelion, real. All that is just created by his thinking about the dandelion. And then you'll have the other person who is the bee lover. Now, it might make them angry to see that man digging up the dandelions and covering them in weed killer, because the person who cares about the bees is really concerned for our ecosystem and the bees doing well and things like that. So and that's but it's very easy, if you're that gardener or you're that bee lover, to get hooked into you A, being right, and B, your thoughts being absolutely true, that either the dandelions should be murdered and killed and disposed of in the worst possible way, or that dandelions should be preserved because they're good for the bees. Now personally, I'm kind of a bit like, I can take or leave a dandelion, if I'm honest. I'm not sure about you. What do you all feel about dandelions? Maybe nothing at all. And that's okay. You know, I don't really have a massive attachment to dandelions, so I kind of don't have massive thoughts about them. I don't think the one thing or another. And you might feel the same about dandelions, or you might be a gardener or a bee lover, and you might have those strong feelings and those strong thoughts about a dandelion. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is not really about dandelions, obviously. It is that any circumstance, no matter how real it might seem, for that circumstance to be creating how you feel, it isn't. The dandelion can't make anybody feel anything at all. Only those people's thoughts about the dandelion can make them feel a particular thing. And when you understand that kind of boundary between circumstance and feelings, it is really empowering to know that you are creating your feelings. The dandelion can't make the gardener feel terrible, or the bee lover feel wonderful for seeing a dandelion. It's just how they think about that. And I just love the analogy of the dandelion, because the dandelion is just such an innocent little thing, isn't it? Well, perhaps you don't think so if you're a gardener, but it is just a thing. It's such a small circumstance, but it can bring out quite a lot of emotion in people and quite a lot of feelings. Just bear with me, I need a tissue. The point I'm trying to make, really, and hopefully I'm making, and hopefully some people are getting, let me know with a thumbs up or something that you are getting this, that our thoughts are creating our reality. And that is important, particularly at the moment. The situation we're all experiencing, you can be feeling particular ways about that, thinking particular ways about that. But you have to know that the circumstance itself is not making you feel anything. No one or no thing can make you feel anything. It is your thoughts about that thing that make you feel a particular way. And once you get to understand that more and more, it actually brings a great deal of inner peace, which is kind of what I'm all about. Because you realise you can't control your thoughts, they're going to pop up anyway, but when you realise that that's what's creating how you feel, not the thing that you're attaching those thoughts to, it gives you a great deal of peace. And it just sort of happens magically and gradually over time, the more you really acknowledge every single thought, no matter what that's about, is created inside your mind and not necessarily by you. So there's my little bit about dandelions and thoughts. Those of you that have joined later on, do go back and watch the rest of this, and hopefully you'll find it useful. Let me know in the comments if you have found that helpful in terms of understanding our thought-created reality. Go out and have a great day today, or stay in and have a great day. That's more to the point, isn't it? But do get out of the house for your allotted slot of exercise. That's really important. Get some fresh air. And you probably won't see a dandelion, because I'm not sure they're absolutely in bloom yet. They've got a little while to go, I think, before they pop up. But if you do, just remember that the dandelion is just an innocent flower. And whatever you think about the dandelion is not the dandelion's fault. So have a fab day. Make the most of whatever you can make the most of today, and go with inner peace. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure. Thank you for watching.